Jody Grant back on the official Tiger podcast. We had a heck of a game this last Friday against Rogers. Kind of reminds you of the old games. Rogers is a pretty good bunch.
Yeah, Rogers is a good bunch. I tell you, their record does not indicate truly what they're about. And, I think they're getting better each week. The week before they played us, they played a really good Springdale team within 10 points and truthfully had the lead late and then played us tough, played really good. And I thought they did some good things, had some good schemes that they did. They're a team that's selling out to playing zero coverage, and they put everybody in the box. And for us, we line up in a lot of 11 and 12 personnel where we put some tight ends in the game. That just allows them to put their safeties in there. So there's times where they have 9 in the box and kind of dare you to throw it. And, it wasn't that we didn't want to throw it. Well, we tried. We dropped some crucial plays that would have been touchdowns and missed on some things. But we still wanted to try to establish the run, and I felt like they did a pretty good job. But ultimately, we were able to maintain a multiple score lead throughout the game. So we weren't ever in panic mode, but there's obviously, it felt like the Rogers football team played a good game against us.
Defensively, you guys made a play when you needed to, pick 6 for a touchdown, which pretty much changed the tide. The defense has been great all year, but how about in a game like that? Is that kind of a wake-up call for your kids? Walking into one that they think, hey, we should have this one, and then they kind of got to fight and scrap and do some things that they're not used to. How much does that help you out?
Well, you don't ever want your kids to be in that situation, but kids need to be in that situation so they can learn from it. That's what this is about. And we warned them of it all week. You're going to hear all week that this is a team that's won and whatever, and you should be able to handle them. And sometimes the kids have other things on their mind. It's homecoming weekend and all that, so you worry about those distractions. I try to talk to them all week about not letting that be a distraction. But we weren't in school. We weren't in school 3 days that week, and just I know it sounds like an excuse. It's not. It's just it was a different routine that week, and Rogers came in and had one goal in mind, and that was to knock off the Tigers. And our kids just early on, I think just kind of went through the motions and yeah, that play by Panko was huge, and it flipped some momentum and got things going. I think the game felt a lot closer than it really was when you look at the stats. Defensively, at that all night, I felt like, man, they're having a lot of success running the football, but I think they only had 86 yards rushing. And, there wasn't like there was a whole lot of there was one sack. So it's not like they just had to grind it out and earn it. And they did a good job of that. But, it felt a lot worse than that. And when I saw the stats, I realized that it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Now, the penalties were terrible. We had some silly penalties offensively at one point. We had a 3rd and 57. You don't have plays in your playbook for that. We got to quit going backwards offensively. Our kids know that. I definitely think it was an eye-opener for our kids.
Looking at the stats, we had some outstanding performances. Talk about your running back, specifically Noah Featheroff. He had over 144.
Yeah, Noah Featheroff, came in and basically finished the game for us. Preston Crawford got injured early in the game and didn't play the rest of the game at that position. And we just sold out to Noah Featheroff, and he did great. Protected the football, ran hard. He's a hard runner. We put him in situations. We went for it on a 4th down, backed up in our own territory. Just it's one of those deals where you feel good about him and just his toughness and his desire to be a competitor. Proud of the way he played. Thought he did some good things. And then, overall, I thought, looking at our defensive stats, our tackle chart was spread out fairly even. Ben Sellers was our leading tackler, I believe, and I think he was up there around 12 or 13, did some good things. Levi Bennett had a lot of pass breakups. Panko with a pick and a lot of tackles. Henry Shreve and Chris Crawford came in and played most of the game at D-line because we lost, 2 of our D-linemen just due to injuries that didn't finish the game. And so they got to step up an opportunity and pleased with their performance. So, yeah, it was spread out throughout, but we got to play better in certain areas.
Talk to us about a little bit about Easton Hughes and his development. He's a guy that when you watch the game, you see some things, but at the very end of the game, even though the stats may not show it, he's gritty. He just kind of gets out there and makes plays when he needs to.
Yeah, we've never really had quarterbacks that just throw for 300-plus yards and 4 or 5 touchdowns because we run the football. But all our quarterbacks are usually a very high completion percentage guys, and he fits in that category as well. He's smart. He understands the reads. it's his first year to be the dude, and I'll be honest with you, we're pleased with his performance. There's times where he's made some mistakes, and but what I love about him is he's coachable. He'll listen, and he won't make that mistake again, and that's what's important. We need him to continue to grow and develop, especially in his leadership role, which he's improved on in practice, and his film studies are great. So, yeah, I'm very pleased with his performance. He's a strong arm kid. There's not a throw on the field that he doesn't make as good as anybody, and so that makes it fun, because you can make some big time throws.
Absolutely. This week we've got a big game on the road. We got two left, one at home and one on the road, but we've got a Springdale team who's improved a lot and has some weapons. Let's talk about that challenge.
Yeah, this is a really special year for Springdale, and they haven't lost at home yet. And, their two losses are on the road. So we got our work cut out for us. They got Springdale's a tough place to play. And they got some weapons over there. I mean, they're very talented offensively. Very impressed with their run game. And then they got some threats to the guys to throw it to. They got a guy over there that's almost, already got 1,000 yards receiving and has been targeted multiple times. And then defensively, they're a really scrappy bunch. Their bodies, I just got some good-looking bodies over there where, you're just like, man, there's some impressive dudes over there. So, they've played well against everybody. I mean, they haven't just been wore out by anybody. I think Fayetteville got after them a little bit last week, but they had some crucial injuries and didn't have some guys in that game. But we expect them to be fairly healthy for the most part, as healthy as you can be in Week 9, and we'll have our work cut out for us.
How do you keep your kids in line for something like this? Because these two games that you got left are big on the schedule, and you're right in a prime position talking conference championship, which we all know that's what the Tigers always talk about first. That's an important goal for them. How do you keep your kids focused on the task at hand and what they got in front of them?
Well, they know that each game is valuable. We talk about winning the month of October. That's big. I think you got to win in October to have a chance. This is our final game in October, and if we win this one, we basically ensure that we're going to have a bye in the playoffs, which is important. Bye, people just kind of overlook that and just think, oh, it's just a win. They're basically handing you a win, and we're going to take it. And it gives you an opportunity to get healthy, get some more work in, so it's important. Winning this one Friday night ensures us a guaranteed opportunity to go play for a conference championship at our home, and our kids are it's important to them. We if you go down and enter our offices down there, you see every year we've won a conference championship. They want their year on that wall because once it's on there, they can't take it away. It's important to them. So we have the 1 week at a time mentality, and this week it's beat Springdale and get a bye and position ourselves for an opportunity to win a conference championship.
What will you have to do to win at Springdale? What challenges do they present that you haven't seen, or are they just, hey, we need to go run the football and we need to play defense?
Well, that very thing. We've got to establish the run game. We ran the ball well at times, but not consistent enough. We got to eliminate penalties. We can't go backwards offensively. I think if you look at our stats this year, we're second in 10-plus way too much. So that means on first down, we're not going forward or we're having a penalty. And, you just statistically that's not productive. And throughout the whole course of that drive, statistics obviously go way better if you're second and mid, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, something like that. So we've got to get to where we can establish the run game early. We got to stay high completion percentage and be smart about that. We got to keep playing defense like we've been playing. I still think our defense is really playing well. We've it's like somebody said the other day. Rogers scored 14 on y'all. How do you feel about that? I thought, well, feel pretty good, truthfully. Giving up 14 points is not bad. On the year, I think we're averaging where we've only, given up, we're giving up about 7 points a game, 7 or 8 points a game. I still think we're one of the top defenses in the league. We just got to keep playing that way. We got to win this turnover battle, which we won that the last few games. But for the season, we got to flip that to where we're in the positive. And that's important. And then when we do that, we got to, if we can get leads on teams, we got to learn to put those dudes away.
Absolutely. Let's touch on this real quick, and I've gotten a lot of questions about it, and sure you have, and just to give our fans an update, Coach David Bradley, we had an event for him earlier in the year. Everybody's kind of figured out what's going on with him. but he got some outstanding news on his illness. And what has that meant to you and your staff? I know just me personally, it's an absolute miracle, and I'm so happy for him and his family.
Yeah, I got a phone call from him on Tuesday, and he had just received the information from his doctor. He went back for a visit, and they did another scan on his brain, and came up where he's cancer-free, which to me is an absolute miracle. And I don't know, I just think this community has absolutely dove into this for him, and he shared that news with everybody through Facebook. And I think about a community that raised almost $30,000 for him to help for his medical bills, and even his hometown of Greenbrier, Arkansas, is doing the same thing this past weekend. And here's a guy who just thinks he's just this guy going to work every day, and finds out he has brain cancer, and the community wraps their arms around him, and now he's cancer-free. It just shows that there are miracles in this world, and God is good because he's taking care of this young man.
And the one thing I think that through the whole deal that I was blown away by, and a lot of people have been, is he continued to work, and he said, I need this. And him being part of the Bentonville Public Schools community, part of the Tiger football community, around the athletes and around the other coaches, he'd be the first one to tell you that's what got him through.
You're right. He said that from the get-go. I know when he first got diagnosed, I talked to him about, it's okay to take off a year and fight this thing. And he said, I need this. I need something to keep me going, and that's keeping my mind off of it. And he didn't miss a beat, and we use that a lot with our kids and with our coaches. I told our kids a lot when they want to feel sorry for themselves. I'm like, Coach Brownlee's got brain cancer, and he's out here every day and working with kids, and we all need to think about that. And it's fun to see him. I saw him in there working out in the weight room just this week, and this is a guy who, just had his skull cut open just not long ago, and hadn't missed a beat, and I don't know if he's actually supposed to be in the weight room, but he is, and just it's just impressive. It's his wife and him have been through a lot. It's been a shock to their normal lifestyle. I know that they had a trip to Maui planned over the summer that they had to cancel, and he was excited to tell me that they rebooked that for over the Christmas holidays. So just an awesome story to tell, and we're blessed and fortunate to have him truthfully in our school district.
It's an inspirational story, and what a wonderful example for the student athletes throughout the district, and especially the Tigers. Coach, what do you want to say to the fans about Friday night and about coming out to Springdale and how much they can help you?
Well, I'd say this. Springdale's one of the toughest places to play. They've got a great home field advantage, and our band will be in St. Louis. So we need our fan base and our student section to come out so we can fill our side of the section, because they're going to be bringing it on their side, and just make it a really fun atmosphere for our players, and just really show the 7A West that we still have the best student section and the best fan base in the conference. I think it makes for a fun Friday night. This is what being a part of a high school that does it right is about, and so it's not just home games; it's on the road too.
Coach Grant and the Tigers trying to position themselves for a shot at a conference championship. First things first, got to take care of Springdale this Friday in Springdale, Williams Stadium. Coach Grant, best of luck. Let's talk again next week.
Sounds great. Thank you.
This is the OTP.